Hi everyone. In today's discussion, I plan on talking about the importance of data types in programming, the differences between primitive, non-primitive, and objects as data types, and closing my thoughts on the application of these data types with specific examples concerning business data. Diving into the significance, Jaiswal suggests that data scientists and programmers assign information to data types to organize and store data for efficient access and proper functionality within a program, otherwise known as data abstraction. Each input has a specific role within a program, and data types prevent these roles from overriding each other or simply not making any sense. Generally, a program consists of inputs, a process, and outputs. If the user inputs the wrong data type, the program will commonly present the user with an error message, or the program will run without functioning as intended. Therefore, it is crucial that data is distributed accordingly. First, primitive data is considered the foundation of all types of data and consists of the simplest values, including integers, float, strings, and Boolean. Integers represent whole numeric data from negative infinity to infinity, such as -1, 1, and 2. Float is used for rational numbers or fractions that convert and present numeric data into numbers with decimals, such as 1.5 from 3 over 2. Jaiswal suggests that strings can be a sequence of characters, words, or any combination of characters enclosed in a pair of single or double quotes, such as "Hello World." Strings can be manipulated in many ways, such as finding the length of a string, changing the string entirely, and performing an iteration within the string to output a specific word. For example, let's say A equals hello world. If I wanted to find the length of the string, I could write print open parentheses len A close parentheses, which would output 11. Boolean generally indicates whether an argument is true or false and is commonly represented as integers 1 and 0. A simple example of Boolean is a comparison of two numbers. The output is true when comparing 2 is greater than 1. The output is false when comparing whether 2 equals 1. While this data is simple, data can be much more complex, which introduces non-primitive data. Non-primitive data is known as the collection and organization of primitive data. These collections consist of arrays, lists, etc. Separate from other programming languages. In Python, arrays store primitive data, but only hold one type at a single time. Arrays must also be imported prior to use. An example of an array would be a list of numbers from 1 to 3, separated by commas. Lists, on the other hand, store primitive data too, but can store different data types and are illustrated with square brackets and separated by commas as well. An example of a list could be students and their associated class grades, such as John 98, Jake 92. Note that numbers are not enclosed by a single or double quotes. This detail only applies to strings. Something to consider when comparing arrays and lists is that arrays can only hold a single data type, which makes calculations and specific actions easier as opposed to a list that holds multiple data types. Finally, an object, similar to a collection, stores data as a subset of a larger piece of data. An example of an object applied to business data could be customer data, including first and last name, age, date of birth, etc., employee data, including employee ID, onboarding date, title, etc., and product data, including product price, product description, product warranty information, etc., which all contribute to the organization's data as data subsets. These objects can also be labeled customer 1, customer 2, customer 3, etc. Regarding the application of primitive and non-primitive data to business data, consider an insurance company. An array could be labeled as insurance agent, consisting of different strings. Agent name could store the first and last name of an agent, login status could store when the agent was logged into the company website, and user ID could store the agent's username for the website. An example of a list tied to this business example could be labeled as customer, consisting of strings, integers, Boolean, and float. Credit score could represent an integer, storing the customer's most recent score. Customer qual could represent a Boolean, storing a true or false value for whether a customer qualifies for a specific insurance policy. User ID could represent a string similar to the agent, storing the customer's username for the website, and quote num could represent a float, storing the customer's quoted price for a policy. Thank you so much. I look forward to your responses.